-6 this morning, where we still have some flurries today after some heavier snow the last couple of days, but it's tapering nicely. 3 degrees a common number, 5 Stanley Park Airport right now. And on Vancouver Island, Port Alberni and Nanaimo checking in with 0, but 5 Comox, Campbell River Airport cooler at -2. So there are some chilly spots, especially Prince George and Smithers at -10 right now, -20 in Fort St. John. Now, I promise you eventually milder air across the province as we go through the latter part of the week, but here's the big picture. I just put precipitation on here. Already I zipped ahead to tomorrow morning where we have high pressure building. The storm track will go that ridge holding through probably Saturday, so fine weather through that time frame in a lot of areas. Now today, still a chance of a flurry early, then some sun for Prince George, Williams Lake, Kamloops, Kelowna, through those areas, partly sunny skies. Cranbrook a morning flurry, then some sun. South Coast again, these showers coming and going, but some breaks as well. Tomorrow clearing, cool. Thursday a little milder in the afternoon and sunny. Look at that beautiful sunshine and milder Friday, Saturday. There you go.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Well, even though it aired on the same night as the Oscars, The Last of Us set another ratings record for the season 1 finale.
Your average weekly shop costs less at Walmart than at any other major grocery store. We save you time and money by price checking thousands of items so you don't have to.
You hear that, Jerry? We can stop now.
You can?
Cut. Nice job, everybody.
When the cooking competition ends, the dishwashing competition begins. And a bigger bottle isn't always the better value. Unlike this diluted dish soap, Dawn Platinum is small and powerful with an ultra-concentrated formula and more grease cleaning power. So, when the other stuff runs out, Dawn Platinum keeps going to clean up to 2,000 more dishes. Dawn Platinum cleans more, so you save more.
Chicken and rice. Cook, repeat, cook, repeat. But getting the reps in belongs to the gym, not the kitchen. So come on, Canada, mix it up and relegate routine with these exciting Canadian chicken dishes. Visit chicken.ca today.
The scrubbing, the scraping. Hate changing your cat's litter? Then change your cat's litter to Arm & Hammer Slide, the amazing litter that slides out without scraping or scrubbing and guarantees a 7-day odor-free home. So slide on over to Arm & Hammer.
Win the lifestyle you've like this amazing home with BC Children's Hospital Choices Lottery. Same ticket prices, more grand prize options. And new this year, groceries and gas for a year. Have it all, from luxury travel, exciting cars, and huge cash. Over $3.4 million in prizes to be won. See all the prizes online, including grand prize homes in the Lower Mainland, Vancouver Island, or the Okanagan. But don't wait, last year sold out early. BCChildren.com today.
The Wongs say their home's comfier than ever thanks to their heat pump.
And we're here to put that to the test.
Janie, what is life like with a heat pump?
Has been awesome, especially in the summer. Keeps us cool and comfortable while we're working.
Would you mind if I worked from here a little bit?
Andrew, any regrets switching from gas?
No, it's been one of the best decisions we made.
Everybody say heat pumps! Heat pumps! Switch and save at bchydro.com/clean.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by See the spring blossoms, relax, and soak up the sunshine.
there, boy? Yeah. Sit back and watch the show. Survivor's ready. Go! Now watch the SHOW. Sit back and watch the show.
16 channels, the hottest shows.
Gives you all kinds of possibilities. Sit back and watch the show.
Stack TV. There's a stream for everyone. You're watching Global BC. This is Global News Morning.
Condo buildings that weren't previously 55 plus, they have been allowed to change.
A bylaw that's not aging well. The calls for the province to crack down on a restrictive strata loophole. Joining us, we'll explain in just a moment, but first a look at our top stories with Paul Haysom. Paul.
Thank you, Sonia. One person has been killed from a shooting in Surrey on Monday night. Emily Lazatin covering that story this morning. Emily, IHIT has now taken over the case.
Yeah, IHIT has taken over the scene, Paul, after one person was found dead in a vehicle. Now, a home sits behind police tape this morning. Police have probably taped off about a half block. The home also sits on about an acre of land. So far, no police this morning other than a few vehicles, RCMP vehicles holding the scene. So this all happened around 8 p.m. last night. RCMP says shots rang out in this residential area by 168th Street and 22nd Avenue. Here, officers found one person dead in a parked car. The coroner has come and gone, and police have not released the victim's identity or details of whether or not anyone is in custody. And no information yet on whether this is target or part of the Lower Mainland gang conflict. IHIT is asking anyone with information back them. So Paul, again, quiet this morning. I don't see anybody canvassing the area, but again, there are police, there are officials here holding the scene. We also have reached out to IHIT, and we're hoping to learn a little more at some point today. Paul?
Thank you, Emily. Emily Lazatin in Surrey. BC's Public Safety Minister and Attorney General have returned from Ottawa after a meeting about bail reform, but many wonder what kind of difference it will make. The meeting was held on Friday in Ottawa between BC's top law enforcement ministers and their federal counterparts. Among the changes pitched to Ottawa by the province is to create which would require some offenders to prove they deserve bail. But experts warn that might not apply to repeat offenders who commit non-violent crimes.
For months, we've joined our provincial and federal counterparts advocating for changes to a bail system that doesn't adequately address repeat violent offenders. I'm encouraged that during last week's visit to Ottawa, the federal government agreed to make amendments to the criminal code that would target repeat.
I expect that we will see changes that create a reverse onus in firearms-related offense situations. That being said, I think that we will not see as many changes as what the provinces are asking for, particularly when it comes to people who are on bail for repeat property crime offenses.
Ottawa hasn't said what kind of specific changes might be made to the criminal code. Tragedy in Quebec after a pickup truck plowed into a group of pedestrians Monday night. Police are now investigating the driver's motive. Here's Braden Jagger-Haynes.
2 men are dead and 1 man is in police custody, facing murder charges. This after a 38-year-old suspect allegedly used his pickup truck to plow through a group of pedestrians in Quebec's Gaspé region. Witnesses described the scene as horrific, a pickup barreling down the road and mowing down multiple pedestrians. 2 men were killed and 9 others were injured in the incident, which happened Monday afternoon while pedestrians were walking road in the quiet eastern town of Amqui, Quebec, about 650 kilometers northeast of Montreal. A man in his 60s and another in his 70s died on scene. Quebec Provincial Police say the driver was arrested after he turned himself in at the local police station. He faces multiple charges. A preliminary investigation shows the collision was most likely a voluntary act, according to police. Officials say 3 of the injured suffered serious critical condition, while 6 others were being evaluated for non-life-threatening injuries. Provincial police would not discuss a possible motive at this time. Quebec's Public Security Minister, François Bonnardel, and other politicians will be on site at the scene this morning. Emergency services are being provided by the local health authority to those affected in the small community rattled by tragedy. Braden Jagger-Haynes, Global News, Montreal.
Environmental officials now confirm that raw sewage leaked into the Capilano River on the North Shore, but they're still working to identify the source. Public on Friday by the Squamish Nation, but the Environment Ministry says it was first brought to their attention 6 days before that. Crews have deployed sandbags. They're also using pumps. Officials say the spill is now contained. The ministry will use dye testing to determine the source.
Dye would be placed into the sanitary systems in the area, and then the outfall would be observed to see whether that dye comes through on the other side, and then they can determine whether there's a cross-contamination of the various lines.
The property manager for Woodcroft Estates says so far dye tests have established no clear connection between its sanitary lines and the leak. The Squamish First Nation says it's less concerned about where the spill came from, but making sure it gets cleaned up as quickly as possible. A new poll shows Canadians want Ottawa to take a closer look into allegations of foreign interference. One-third said the potential for foreign interference is important as it compromises the legitimacy of election results. Despite that, 71% of respondents say they still trust Canada's electoral system, 69% saying they generally trust election results. It comes amid allegations of foreign interference into Canada's 2019 and 2021 federal elections, which have been under scrutiny for weeks. A Vancouver Island woman is asking Premier David Eby to restricted strata rules. Brianne Pascoe recently bought a condo in a 19-plus building in Duncan. Since the province changed the age restriction rules, her strata has voted to switch to a 55-plus building. She can stay, but she says this changes how she can move in future potential partners, having a roommate under the age of 55, and it lowers her property value.
It's just up in the air for me now. I had purchased the unit in hopes of it being like a nice little stepping stone. I'm kind of hoping he will revoke what he said. Anyone who wasn't already a 55 plus building, you know, you're kind of out of luck. There's plenty of them that are already designated 55 plus buildings. So he's left this loophole open where you can change to one.
When asked about the situation, Premier Eby says the province is looking into amendments to the changes. Some dramatic moments at the Juno Awards on Monday night when Avril Lavigne a topless protester off the stage. The Canadian singer was in the middle of introducing AP Dillon when the protester got onto the stage and started walking behind her. As you can see, written on her body were the words "Save the Greenbelt" and "Land Back." Avril sidestepped the interruption for a few seconds. Lavigne eventually used some colorful language and told the uninvited guests to leave. Tough spot for the anthem singer after a microphone malfunction at the Toronto Maple Leafs game on Monday night.
Oh, say can you? Oh, say can.
Yeah, singer Natalie Morris took to the ice before the game against the Buffalo Sabres, but technical difficulties prevented the American national anthem. After a whole lot of confusion and a bit of booing, Toronto fans stepped up in the most Canadian way possible. Have a listen. Yeah, the crowd kept the show going, belting out the American national anthem. Buffalo went on to win the game 4-3. That's the best part. Maybe the Buffalo Sabres were inspired by the Toronto Maple Leafs fans singing their national anthem, go on to win the game. So we bring in our chief meteorologist, Mark Madruga. That's happened a few times before, right? I believe so. Okay. That's pretty good. That is, I legitimately thought you didn't have a microphone off.
Was my mic not working?
There you go. Yeah.
There we go. No, I was just saying.
Around here, that could be a daily occurrence. No one knows.
No, it happens once in a while. Yeah, that's too bad. But anyway, those fans jumped in and made it all fun.
Yeah, what I hear her. It seemed like she was perfectly fine on the first microphone and then grabbed the second one and that didn't work.
Yeah, the hardwired one didn't work properly, but I know. Anyway.
Pretty well done, Mark. I'll give you credit for that. Let's talk about what's going on outside this morning and a bit of moisture in some spots.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by this radar. I'll have a closer look in my next report. I'll have a closer look now and report back at 10:02. But boy, this looks like a pretty heavy shower drifting through parts of Surrey. Now, otherwise, drier to the western sections of Metro Vancouver. Yeah, a couple showers on the most of our showers should be this morning. Certainly some sun will be in the mix a little later on through the afternoon, and then more showers tonight, and then high pressure is going to build. But boy, oh boy, this trough of low pressure with these bands of showers coming through, not only Metro Vancouver, but especially north of us, up Howe Sound, and up central and north coast, many showers today. A lot drier in the interior, down to a few flurries on the mountain passes. But once this trough moves, high pressure is going to build. California getting hammered by more rain, a lot of places there. Okay, back to the lower mainland. Again, you see those bands of showers on our prognostication through the day and a little clearing, especially this afternoon. Where are we? Right there. There's that last gasp of showers. Tomorrow morning, clearing. Wonderful weather ahead. And the big picture, the upper level flow, there's that trough for today moving in through the afternoon and evening as well with more showers. But look at that ridge build. I love the looks of that chart. That's an upper ridge, and that means drier, sunnier, and eventually warmer, but not so fast. Cool today with a high of 9, and then a little milder Thursday, but a chilly start. Sunny Friday, most of Saturday sunshine, and highs up to 12, 13, but some spots away from the water could hit 16 as an extreme high in the high range there, the top temperature, but mostly 12, 13 degrees. Caitlin?
Yeah, double digits.
Yeah, double digits and awesome weather. We deserve it. We're in for a nice stretch of 3 or 4 days of great weather.
That's right. Absolutely, Mark.
Okay. We hope you stick around town and enjoy it with us.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Okay. Thanks very much, Mark. Starting to build here in Metro Vancouver for this Tuesday morning. A little trouble over at the Portman Bridge. Let's check in now with Amber Belser.
Yes, we have a really bad crash here at the Portman Bridge deck. Eastbound really hindered in those 152 exit lanes. That's where it occurred in the left lane. You can see 5 cars just jammed together like a squished accordion. So that is causing big delays for motorists eastbound on Highway 1 from the Cape Horn. You can take those regular eastbound lanes and make your way across into Surrey and then take the 160th exit to backtrack to 152 if you like. But right now, this is causing delays. We need tow trucks on scene. Ambulance just arrived. Extra repair for your vehicle helps provide expert care for kids. When you choose Kermac, you choose to support BC Children's Hospital. Kermac cares for kids. Caitlin?
Thanks so much, Amber. Well, yeah, that's going to get pretty bad there over at the Portman Bridge. Let's look at other alternate routes. We've got the Patello Bridge. No delays through New Westminster if you want to head that way into Surrey. And leaving Surrey, it's busy. You can see those lights really backing up traffic on King George, so heads up. But once you get onto the bridge deck, you're looking good. A little bit wet, as you can see, but otherwise things are moving. Nothing really out of the norm for the Alex Fraser and Highway 91. Busy from 64th, steady across the bridge. But southbound, I don't know what's happening here. You lose that right lane. There is scheduled maintenance to occur on Thursday, and it's supposed to wrap up at 5 in the morning. But hey, there you have it. The right lane is blocked for southbound traffic. You might see it is going against the flow, but you might see the odd delay. So something to keep in mind. That's your OK Tire traffic.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Caitlin. And coming up in business news this morning, how the failure of 2 U.S. banks is impacting interest rates and what it could mean for ahead.
It's the Rebels with a Cause app.
We need to fight.
The Game Time is Anytime app.
Go!
The catch up anywhere on all the thrilling twists. Remarkable renos, daring dishes, and can't miss channels app.
Pretty darn clever.
And now, with the new free play, it's also the how is it possible there are thousands of episodes I can watch absolutely free app.
Didn't see that coming.
One app. The Global TV app. Download now and stream anytime.
Hi, I'm Steve Ranson, President and CEO of Home Equity Bank. I've worked in Canadian financial services industry for over 30 years. I've seen the economy go up and down. While accessing cash in retirement can be a challenge, older Canadian homeowners have a safe and practical solution to consider. With a chip reverse mortgage from Home Equity Bank, you can securely access some of your equity and stay in the home you love.
If you're
You could get up to 55% of your home's value in tax-free cash. Take only what you need in a lump sum or over time with no monthly mortgage payments required. Call 1-855-778-2447 for your free, no-obligation guide.
In these uncertain financial times, the best retirement is a secure retirement.
For your free guide, call 1-855-778-2447. That's 1-855-778-CHIP. Or visit chip.ca. Call CHIP today. Retirement your way.
The BC government can help you get from here to here by building thousands of new homes for people. Find out how BC's helping make life better at strongerbc.ca. The BC government can help you get from here to here, with more training opportunities on the way for new grads and people changing jobs. Find out how BC's helping make life better at strongerbc.ca.
We're gonna find who really killed my dad. Gotham Knights. New series premieres tonight at 9, only on Showcase.
All right, taking a look at your markets this morning. The Canadian dollar is on the rise. Gold is down and oil is down as well. All right, time to take a look at our business news stories this morning. And mortgage rates in the U.S. are tumbling following the failure of two big banks. Tyler Orton with Business in Vancouver is joining us now with more. So Tyler, fill us in and tell us what this could mean for Canadians with variable rate mortgages.
Well, there's just so much more market uncertainty down south of the border with the failure of SVB as well as Signature Bank. And we're seeing that the 30-year mortgage, which is very popular down there, the rate for mortgage there has dropped by 0.5 point since last Wednesday. It's a little complex, but we're talking about more investors rushing into government banking insecurity. So further down the road, what it might influence is fixed rate mortgages. But in the near term, I'd say this uncertainty with the United States banking sector, again, not Canada's banking sector, but it could influence our own central bank here north of the border to start cutting rates at a rate faster than expected, I should say. Most experts were thinking that we could see a cut in the key rate by the end of this year or early 2024, but these actions in the United States, it could accelerate those rate cuts after we saw the Bank of Canada put a pause button on it last week. So look, a drop in that key rate, it would be a boon to those with variable rate mortgages, not necessarily fixed rate mortgages here in Canada. So that's a very keen diversion that you need to take hold of right there.
For sure. And it could be, positive news for people looking to still get into the housing market. And I understand you have a little bit more for us on what that could mean for the real estate market.
Yeah, well, we have a new report from the BC Real Estate Association that says that spring might be a quote-unquote test moving forward with regards to the housing market starting to stabilize. We do know that sales as of February are down more than 45% year over year. But as I said before, the Bank of Canada is also hitting the pause button on its rate hikes moving forward. So think of it this way. If we do see that mortgage rates go down because rates being cut by the Bank of Canada, well, that actually bring more people into the market, and that would actually put price pressure up. So it might be good if you're already in the market looking for a new home, but if you're a first-time buyer, it's going to be a tough year. It doesn't seem as if people can quite win here in this market. It's either you have mortgage rates super high or you have prices really high. So it's going to be a tough go, especially for those first-timers.
All right, well, maybe some good news for people who already have some variable rate loans or mortgages. Tyler, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Sonia. All
right, and still ahead this morning, flare frustrations continue. The airline is in damage control mode after multiple planes were repossessed. That story next.
We have a problem. Tonight at 9 Eastern on Global.
It calls you to a place with no boundaries, where the trail ends and the beyond begins.
The Chevrolet Silverado ZR2 is ready. Are you? Finance a 2022 Silverado ZR2 at 1.49% for up to 72 months. Plus, eligible Costco members get a $750 bonus.
Do you have nail fungus?
Yes, it's nail fungus.
No, it's nothing.
It's a fungal infection that eats away at your nail.
It may be nothing, but I don't want to get it.
And it can spread to other people. It's contagious.
We want to see! We want to see!
I think it's time you took care of that.
But I don't have it.
Yes, you have it. It's an infection.
Nail fungus should be taken seriously. At the first signs, show it to your doctor and ask about prescription treatments that can be applied to the nail.
We wanted the fancy crib, top-of-the-line stroller, but we also want to keep traveling. But how? CIBC Smart Planner gave saving for the baby stuff we need today with everything we want tomorrow. CIBC. Ambitions made real.
Replace your water and sewer lines without digging a trench with Drainmaster. Since 1991, we've employed Pipe Genie patented technology, which means minimal disruption to your landscaping and driveway. Call us at 604-739-2000 for all your water and sewer line needs. Drainmaster, your trenchless specialist.
I'm analyzing, trying to size everyone up and down.
Just like...
Vernon for the BC Winter Games. Be there for BC's premier multi-sport event hosting over 1,000 of the province's best young athletes from 15 different sports and over 2,000 volunteers working to ensure an exceptional experience. Don't miss the 34th Festival du Bois in Coquitlam's Mackin Park. Enjoy workshops, fun shows, delicious Quebecois, folk, and world music and dance from all across Canada. For RBC, I'm Michael Newman.
Global BC Community Hub. Promote your event. Build your community. Global BC Community Hub. Bringing your worlds together.
Good morning. I'm Amber Belser in Global One. Unfortunately, at the Portman Bridge here, it's a bit of a mess in both directions. Westbound's busy as usual from 152 making way into Coquitlam, but we have a vehicles involved in this one, 7 that are in the left lane, along with emergency crews. So you're down to 1 lane into those 152 exit lanes, and that's causing delays back to the Cape Horn interchange. Today's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $29 million, plus Lotto Max Dream to the Max.
All right, Amber, thank you very much, and we'll keep an eye on that situation. Mark, is that a live shot of Cypress behind you?
It is live, yes. It is up in the mountains, yes. Is getting some snow while we have showers down here, Sonia. You like that?
You know what? I don't mind it, especially because I know there is some warmer weather and sunshine headed our way, so we can get through these next couple days for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, we're going to have an extended period of sunnier, drier, and eventually milder weather. More on that in a moment. But across the country today, boy, it's colder than this now, but I thought I'd put up the forecasting. Consistently near freezing. Look at that across the entire country, with exception of Vancouver +8 and Whitehorse -10, Yellowknife as well, Iqaluit, but a lot of places near the freezing point this afternoon. The crocuses are going to love this weather as we head into the longer term. It's still pretty chilly out there, but they're popping up. Now this is a picture from Port Alberta. Thank you, Janine. There's the Wall Centre Hotel camera aimed at the Lions Gate Bridge. We have some showers, and of course I showed you those snow showers up on the North Shore Mountains right now. It's 5 degrees at the airport. Pollen for today, it's in the high category again, just like yesterday, and you see why. Cedar, juniper, that group in the high category. We thought we'd include elm, which is low today, which is nice. So hang under an elm tree maybe, and you won't sneeze so much today. The showers are picking up in the Fraser Valley. This shower went through Surrey earlier, and it's really showing up on the radar. It's going to be that kind of day where showers will come and go. We'll have some breaks of blue sky at times with this upper trough, and it's going to continue to send showers our way all up and down the BC coast, even some As we go ahead in time, right there during the afternoon, definitely some breaks, but more showers right there tonight. And then that's it. We're going to bring in that high pressure ridge. I want to do my usual quick tour here and maybe pick out your area. Peace, still cold, -7 today, +3 by Thursday. I like that. -10 Whitehorse today, down to -17 tonight. Just a slight chance of flurries. North Coast, showers of rain or mixed rain and snow today and tomorrow with highs of 5 degrees. Paul's doing a bunch of printing here for his script and is very noisy, but that's okay. Flurries this morning, then partly sunny Caribou Central Interior. Morning fog, Columbia Kootenay regions. Otherwise sun and cloud today and tomorrow. Thompson, Okanagan, sun and cloud. And not really warm, but pleasant weather kicking in for a while. There's Whistler. Showers or morning flurries today. 2 to 4 to 8 for highs. I'm going to almost done. 8 degrees for a high on Vancouver Island today. Showery and we're home free. Mostly sunny tomorrow. Sunny on Thursday. Sunny and balmy Friday and Saturday. There you are.
Wow, who knew a printer could be so distracting?
No kidding. It's right there. It has to be that far away from me.
Well,
we had to fix it apparently.
Oh no, I didn't get kicking involved.
He has his wrench out.
Oh, okay.
He's good.
That's great. All right. Thanks very much for that update, Mark. Well, we actually do have a multi-vehicle collision on the Portman Bridge. It's affecting eastbound traffic, so we're starting to see a bit of an eastbound slowdown. West end in the Surrey exit lanes. Watch out for this one. At least 5 vehicles involved. Westbound slowing down, so we'll just take a look at the live shot. Our view of the bridge doesn't show where that eastbound collision is, but it shows you that traffic is moving along just fine east of it, and you can see that westbound is really come to a bit of a slowdown because of, obviously, it is a bit of a visual distraction there. Even those exit lanes are a little bit heavy, so a heads up for those folks. You can always traffic is moving along just fine. Not too bad over at the Alex Fraser Bridge. There's a southbound lane closure there. They're saying winter ops, but and even the Portman Bridge gives you that eastbound HOV lane back. Normal volume though northbound on the 91, so pretty typical day over there. And not too bad over at the Massey Tunnel. Kind of flows in. All is good on a Tuesday. That's your OK Tire traffic.
Thanks, Caitlin. Flair Airlines is claiming the airline was behind a move to seize 4 of its leased planes. The U.S.-based leasing company abruptly seized the aircraft Saturday when Flair fell behind on payments. That represents about 20% of Flair's fleet. Though the airline says it was able to get a spare aircraft into service to keep the operation going. Flair Chief Executive Stephen Jones did not accuse any airline directly or provide evidence, but he believes one of Canada's is behind the seizure.
We've come in and upset the cozy duopoly, and as a consequence, people want us out of business. And we do believe that there were negotiations going on behind the scenes between one of the majors and the lessor to, hurt Flair.
They told us the crew was sick. And then people started sending me articles about planes being repossessed. So there's very little trust. We feel like we've been lied to right from the very start.
Flair says the aircraft seizure was not related to some BC passengers who were left stranded Friday in Arizona after a flight attendant got sick and the flight was canceled. All right, stay with us. So look at your top stories right after the break. And a fire sweeps through a courthouse in Golden. Why arson is suspected, coming up next.
This Global News pollen report. Reactin. When allergies hit fast, Reactin acts fast.
We're going to find who really killed my dad. Gotham Knights. New series premieres tonight at 9, only on Showcase.
1 in 3 children are now at risk of going to school on an empty stomach.
When I'm hungry, my stomach starts to hurt a little bit. It's hard to think and concentrate. I don't have enough energy.
But there's hope. By supporting Toonies for Tummies, 100% of your donation gives hungry children and you a chance to start their day with a much-needed, nutritious meal.
When I eat breakfast, I have lots of energy. When it's gym, I can run really fast.
Donate in store or online today.
Destination Asuyas and Global News Morning want to give you a chance to win a getaway to Asuyas. Enjoy the spring blossoms, relax, and soak up the sunshine. Pricing includes 2 nights at Spirit Ridge Lake Resort, cellar tours, trail riding, SUP, and more. Watch Global News and enter online.
Make it crispy.
Get KFC's new extra crispy 8-piece meal for only $20.
Who says you have to spend more on skincare to get results? I power up my skin with Olay. It works. Guaranteed. Try niacinamide for strength, retinol 24 for smoothness, and vitamin C for brightness. I like to use them all. Olay. Face anything.
Look at this guy. He's really... You know what he'll get? Muscle pain. Give up. The couch is calling. Pain says you can't. Advil says you can.
Could you use 80,000, 180, or even 1.8 million? Everybody knows life is more expensive right now. It's nice to know a Flexi line is there for you. Call us today to see what's available to you.
CA. The BC government from here to here, with more training opportunities on the way for new grads and people changing jobs. Find out how BC's helping make life better at strongerbc.ca. The BC government can help you get from here to here, with new supports to train and retain the doctors and nurses we need. Find out how BC's helping make life better at strongerbc.ca.
The wait is almost over. Peter Gabriel, live in 2023. I.O. The Tour. Rogers Arena, Saturday, October 7th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.ca. I.O. coming soon. Visit PeterGabriel.com.
One monthly payment would be nice.
Alpine Credits, sending help right away.
Approved. Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
You're watching Global BC. This is Global News Morning.
The lion's share of these tickets are written at red lights when you're stationary.
Modernizing BC's distracted driving law. The rules causing confusion and prompting calls for a shift in gears. Good morning. Yeah,
the old phone under the leg.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. I saw a guy driving the other day. He had a movie playing on the center console. You shouldn't probably do that.
Was it like one of those newer electric vehicles?
Yeah, it looked like it was a new one. But I thought that they were disabled when you were driving. But yeah, apparently he could watch. I mean, a movie, no. Global BC during the morning show, that's fine, right?
But stream it, right?
Yeah,
obviously.
That's right. No, don't do that. No distracted driving. We will be getting to that. Thank you, son. You're going to start in Surrey. One person has been killed from a shooting in Surrey on Monday night. Emily Lazatin is covering that story this morning. Emily, what do we...
Paul, IHIT has taken over the case. That person you're talking about was found dead in a vehicle. Now, we're here in the Grandview Heights neighborhood of Surrey, and you can see behind me here, police have taped off a home. A home sits behind police tape. They've taped off about a half block. Now, the property also sits on an acre of land. So far, quiet this morning in terms of investigators, but there's a couple police vehicles manning the area. Now, RCMP say shots rang out just before 8 p.m. In 22nd Avenue. Here, officers found one person dead in a parked car. The coroner has come and gone, and police have not released the victim's identity or details of whether anyone is in custody. No information yet on whether the incident was targeted or part of the Lower Mainland gang conflict. Now, IHIT has taken over the investigation, and anyone with information is asked to contact them. So again, Paul, quiet in terms of investigators this morning, but we have reached out to IHIT to get more information. Hopefully we'll hear from them soon.
Emily Lazatin in Surrey. One man is in stable condition in hospital from a shooting near a tent city in downtown Nanaimo. That happened Sunday afternoon. Police say the victim is a local business owner who was part of a group who went to the encampment to recover some stolen property. There was an altercation between the group and some residents of the tent city, and that's when the man was allegedly shot. When police arrived, they arrested 2 people, and after a search, a gun was found.
Yeah, if it wasn't for all got shot because they were definitely shooting at us. He just kind of blocked cover fire and told us to get across the road as fast as we could.
The open drug use, the inability of us as a society to get a handle on this, our inappropriate housing, continuum of care, when they're success.
Anyone who witnessed the altercation, cam footage of the incident is asked to contact Nanaimo RCMP. The courthouse in Golden has been destroyed by an early morning fire that appears to have been deliberately set. About 3:30 Monday morning, flames seen shooting through the courthouse roof. By the time firefighters got there, the entire building was engulfed, and it took about 10 hours to extinguish the flames. A firefighter was injured when a hose knocked them from the roof. They are expected to recover. The roof has collapsed, and 2 corners of the exterior wall are on the cusp of coming down.
Well, this due to the nature of the type of building and the types of security that were involved with it, like the closed off rooms with the heavy security doors, the brick, the steel reinforcement and things like that. So when those rooms actually caught on fire, they're almost virtually impossible to get into until they got hot enough that the brick actually crumbled.
The cause of the fire has not yet been identified, but police do suspect arson. They are suspects at this point. Several young people were arrested last week after bear spray was allegedly used against staff at a New Westminster bar. It happened last Thursday. New West Police told staff at the bar at the 200 block of Columbia Street had asked a group of underage people to leave the establishment. A suspect then pulled out bear spray and shot it at staff. The group of teens fled towards the station where they were arrested by transit police. Anyone who may have witnessed the incident is asked to contact New West Police. Calls for BC's distracted driving laws to be rewritten after an enforcement campaign led to some confusion. ICBC put out an apology video after incorrectly stating that having your phone on your seat next to you while driving is an offense. A BC Supreme Court case from 2019 settled that, but not everyone is aware. Questions have also been raised about why using giant screens in cars like a Tesla don't count as distracted driving, and why other distracted actions that don't aren't being targeted either. Advocates say a new law is needed to offer clarity.
More than 3/4 of those tickets are written by people pulling up to red lights and plugging their phone in or picking up their phone for a second. And yeah, you're guilty of an offense, which shouldn't be an offense. Not any different than if you pull up to a red light and you adjust the radio.
There's all sorts of other distractions on the road too, like, eating or doing your makeup or shaving, all things that people do while they're driving that aren't expressly prohibited. But if you're specifically with electronic devices, and we know that technology when it comes to electronic devices advances quickly, then you need to be committed to updating that law to keep in step with technology.
Yeah, don't shave and drive. In BC, distracted driving could land you a $368 ticket and cost you 4 points. A BC crown jewel has made the list of the 25 most beautiful places in the world. CNN Travel is giving praise to Vancouver Island, saying it's one of the best places thanks to its coastline with picturesque beaches, mountains, and lakes. It is the only destination in Canada to make the ranks. At the top of the list is the Bwindi Impenetrable Forest in Uganda, followed by Samburu, Kenya. We bring in our chief meteorologist, Mark Madriga. Mark, you and Sonia brought up a great point. It's the entire island of Vancouver Island. Yeah. It's not like Comox or Parksville or Port Hardy. It's not a specific area. It's the whole 32 square kilometer island, which is
1,000 square kilometer.
Kilometer island, which is bigger than Israel, bigger than Jamaica, and about the same size as Belgium and Taiwan. So they might want to make that list a bit more focused next time.
I would say so. Now, exactly. Sorry to jump in there, but you're right, because that's part of what, we all do here at Global BC. We have a large province to cover, the size of half of Europe.
Right.
Really?
That's right.
And 16,000 and climate zones.
A lot of mountains and trees involved, but beautiful sunrises as well around here, Mark.
You're right. I mean, Vancouver Island's so gorgeous, top to bottom, left to right, and we have a nice looking tower cam too, Paul, outside right now with some breaks in the clouds. It's going to be that kind of day where showers have been rolling through this morning. In fact, here's the radar. You can see several showers over the last, this is 3 hours I have on here. 4 to 7 a.m. through a couple more coming in behind, but definitely some little breaks in the clouds every once in a while. And really, it's this upper trough off the coast. You see an upper low in here. Lines of showers, not only in Vancouver, especially north of us and up the coast, we're going to get those showers. And yes, on Vancouver Island too. Interior, a lot drier. Let me back out of the way here and show you the Coquihalla right now, where the snow has stopped. Still some flurries today, but the heaviest snow is done. As Briar, Okanagan Connector, not bad at all. We'll sneak in a bit of sun for the Thompson Okanagan today. Whistler, some rain and snow showers. Also, if you go north here, some sunny periods, Prince George and Williams Lake. Showers of rain or mixed rain and snow on the north coast. Showers and sunny breaks for us and cool. Clearing tomorrow and cool. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, generally sunny. Still cool mornings, but milder afternoons. Top temperature, 16. Most places not that. Friday, Saturday. Caitlin.
Oh, it's time for spring.
It is, yeah. Spring officially starts next Monday.
Yeah, sometime 2 o'clock, but we're not sure if it's AM or PM, so.
I'm pretty sure it's PM.
I would believe you. I believe you.
Okay, well, thanks. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Believe the chief. Yeah, when it comes to weather, believe the chief. All right. Believe me, when it comes to traffic, we're seeing long lineup here in Delta. For more, let's check in now with Amber Belzer.
I'm over top of Highway 17 in North Delta, westbound, just before the Alex Fraser Bridge. We've had a broken down entire morning rush, but now a tow truck is here, so main road crews have the right lane blocked off. That is causing delays from Elevator Road in Surrey to just before the Alex Fraser Bridge as you make your way west. Today's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $29 million. Lotto Max, dream to the max. Caitlin?
Thanks very much, Amber. Yep, long lineups there now that main roads and crews are on scene, and we're going to head to the Portman Bridge, and we're seeing some pretty significant eastbound delays. That's right, heading into Surrey because of a the east end. It's in the Surrey exit lane, so if you're keeping those through lanes, you should be good to go. And westbound traffic a little bit slow as well. Definitely a visual distraction if you are heading westbound, and it's affecting traffic in not only the through lanes, but the exit lanes as well. So a real slowdown from Surrey, so a heads up there. Petawa, great option for your morning commute. No delays out of New Westminster. Typical slowdowns through Surrey along King George. You can see the traffic lights twinkling there. So a little bit of a lineup right from around Bridgeview Drive. Alex Fraser, decent. Northbound, actually not bad at all. That color was red earlier, so it's moving a little bit better. Looks like maybe they have removed those cones there, but there was a southbound lane closure. It was causing just a slight delay. It is going against the rush, but certainly something to keep in mind. That's your OK Tire traffic.
Thank you, Caitlin. And still ahead this morning, a financial fiasco we continue to follow. Reaction to the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and what it means for Canadians. We'll have a full breakdown coming up right after this break.
We're gonna find who really killed my dad. Gotham Knights. New series premieres tonight at 9, only on Showcase.
It was the first night we didn't have to wake her up to prick her finger.
I wasn't constantly worried about going low.
It was the day I finally felt like I had some freedom. This changes everything.
Talk to your healthcare professional today.
We see a world where every child goes to school, where a child can be a child, not water doesn't make them sick. This is our world vision. What's yours?
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Impossible or Bacon Whopper, I rule this day. BK, have it your way.
I imagine Bandit's first owner was a brilliant astronomer, until one day she was taken by aliens. I mean, why else would someone give up the greatest dog in the world?
The next Lotto 649 Gold Ball jackpot is a big one. It's a massive $46 million. Imagine the possibilities. Plus the classic $5 million jackpot. That's 2 jackpots on every ticket. 49 classic jackpot and the growing Gold Ball jackpot. 2 chances to find your possible.
Closed captioning of money numbers is brought to you by Envision Financial. You spent 9 hours looking for an espresso machine. How many looking at your investments? Book a free second opinion today. The Big Brother Canada house guests have settled into the manor, and alliances are already forming.
Santina and I are talking, and she's indicating
potential alliance here, and I feel like me and her are good. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like me and Ty are gonna rule this whole kingdom.
But the game has only just begun.
I'll say it to my house guests. I'll say it to Canada. I'm here to play, and I want to win.
Big Brother Canada, all new tonight at 7 Eastern on Global. Missed an episode? Catch up on Stack TV or the Global TV app.
Let's take a look at your markets on this Tuesday morning. S&P TSX Composite is on the rise. The Venture is up as well. In American markets, the Dow, the Nasdaq 100 are all climbing this morning. Canadian dollar is up, gold is down, and oil is down as well. U.S. President Joe Biden told the world that America's banking system is safe and promised strict bank regulations after the collapse of 2 banks in just 3 days. With more on this, let's go to Global News' senior business correspondent, Ann Gaviola. And, a lot of discussion about this over the past several days. Break it down for us. How did this happen?
Let's start about the tale of 2 banks that are at the kind of center of the So Silicon Valley Bank, which is based in California, it serves a mainly tech community. Before it collapsed, it was the 16th largest bank in the U.S. And now the tech community that I mentioned that it serves, they were getting squeezed by higher interest rates. So they were pulling their money out of the bank just to go about their day-to-day operations and make their payroll to make good on these withdrawals. SVB was forced to sell off some of its assets at a loss. So bonds and stocks, and investors looked at what was happening and they pushed down the stock as well. All that caused more concern about, what was going on at the bank, and then a good old-fashioned bank run ensued. So too many people at the same time trying to pull their money out of SVB. It collapsed in a matter of just, a few days after all the things that I mentioned came to light, and U.S. regulators took over Friday. On Sunday, a bit of a domino effect. So another bank, this one Signature Bank, serving a mainly cryptocurrency community. It was preemptively taken over by U.S. regulators because it was on the edge. Now, U.S. officials have created this fund for depositors of the banks that I mentioned or any other banks that may have trouble going forward. They want to send a message that, the American banking system is fine and good and safe.
All right, but we know that often what happens in the American economy tends to have an impact here at home. So what does all this mean for the system?
Probably the number one question that people are wondering about with this story. So a couple things I want to tell you about. SVB did have one branch here in Canada. It has since been taken over by Canadian regulators. It didn't have a full banking license, so it didn't hold any deposits from companies or people. What it was doing here was lending out money. So this is important to the tech community for sure, but that limits the impact here in Canada. As for, the potential for this kind of thing to happen here, the 2 banks that I mentioned are regional banks in the U.S. They operate under a more lax set of rules. In fact, some of the oversights for those types of banks were rolled back in 2018 under U.S. President Donald Trump. What we have here in Canada is far fewer banks. They are much better capitalized and they are diversified. So people should take a lot of comfort in that.
All right. So the other question that this is raising is about interest rate. What kind of impact this could have, because we know that it's having an interesting impact south of the border right now.
Yes, so let's talk about what this means for a lot of household budgets here in Canada, because there's a bit of good news, bad news. So this is, a crisis. We continue to watch it. But what has happened is if you look at the smart money or investors in the bond market, they have changed their bets or their expectations Canada is going to do at its next interest rate decision in April. What they're now expecting is that the Bank of Canada could cut its key interest rate by 0.25 percentage point, and it may cut even further. We'll have to kind of watch and see how these things unfold. But all this to say, what has happened south of the border is a real game changer for a lot of people.
Absolutely. All right. So many more questions, and you know what that's going to mean for inflation as well. And thank you so much for joining us.
You bet.
And coming up, a big night for Canadian music. We'll tell you who brought home the hardware from the Juno Awards. We'll be right back.
International. On Global.
Here at the Nissan Institute of Thrillology, we're looking at the cold hard data on cold weather convenience and all-wheel drive confidence. That's the power of Thrillology.
Lease a 2023 Rogue from $99 weekly for only 24 months.
Hi, I'm Steve Ranson, President and CEO of Home Equity Bank. I've worked in Canadian financial services industry for over 30 years. I've seen the economy go up and down. While accessing cash in retirement can be a challenge, have a safe and practical solution to consider. With a chip reverse mortgage from Home Equity Bank, you can securely access some of your equity and stay in the home you love.
If you're 55 or older, you could get up to 55% of your home's value in tax-free cash. Take only what you need in a lump sum or over time with no monthly mortgage payments required. Call 1-855-778-2447 for your free, no obligation guide.
In these times, the best retirement is a secure retirement.
For your free guide, call 1-855-778-2447. That's 1-855-778-CHIP. Or visit chip.ca. Call CHIP today and live retirement your way. Make a difference. If they're from a company that acts ethically and responsibly, we can feel good in what we wear. It's the small choices we make that make a big impact on our world. G-Sport. We were here. Here from Ace Sanabi, who performed at the Junos and was nominated for Contemporary Indigenous Artist of the Year. We're going to have more on some of the Juno winners in just a moment. Right now, we're going to check in with Caitlin to see how traffic is moving along on this Tuesday. Caitlin.
Well, it's not moving very well if you're heading towards the Portman Bridge, so let's head up. Sir.
Yes, we are still keeping tabs on this multi-car collision eastbound Portman Bridge deck. It is definitely causing big delays. 2 tow trucks just arrived, but 5 cars needing towing here. So it is going to take a while to clear it up, and we are still seeing delays from the Cape Horn interchange as you make your way to those 152 exit lanes. But you can take the regular lanes, exit at 160th, and backtrack to 152 if that will save you some time this morning. Through a charitable Cares for Kids and Surrey Memorial Hospital. When you choose Kermac Collision and Auto Glass, you also support Surrey Memorial Children's Health Center. Caitlin, back to you.
Thanks very much, Amber. So a good reminder that some of those roads might be wet after we did see some rainfall, and to keep that distance between you and the vehicle in front of you in case somebody does have to stop quickly. Over at the Patello Bridge, if you have that option, you're leaving now and you're thinking, hey, how does that look? It looks great. No delays at a New Westminster into Surrey, and then northbound, of course, we're going to see a little bit of slow-moving traffic for King George, but otherwise, a great shape for this morning. Semi-cab here along Highway 17 heading west underneath the Alex Fraser Bridge. Now there is a main roads truck, so you are seeing a lane blocked, and that's why traffic is heavy backing up midway between the Alex Fraser and the Patello Bridge. Over at the Alex Fraser Bridge, traffic is in fine shape. You've got 4 lanes north and now 3 southbound lanes, and no problems over there as you make your way towards the Queensborough Bridge, although it looks like, according to the map, something just popped up, but we did see that traffic on the camera look decent. And not too bad, but we are starting to see a bit of a slowdown for traffic heading towards the 91A Queensborough Bridge. That's your OK Tire traffic.
Thank you, Caitlin. It was a night to celebrate Canadian music as the 52nd annual Juno Awards went down on Monday. After Simu show in Edmonton, The Weeknd took home Album of the Year, putting him second all-time for the most Juno Awards, but he was not in attendance. Pop-punk revival star Avril Lavigne won the final award, the TikTok Juno Fan Choice Award, following an earlier incident in the ceremony when a topless protester came running onto the stage as she was introducing a performance. The show also honored Nickelback, the Canadian Music Hall of Fame and celebrated 50 years of hip-hop in Canada. All right, a big night for Canadian music for sure. All right, we're going to check in now with Mark Madriga.
Yes.
Mark, favorite Canadian artist?
Oh, so many. I mean, Randy Bachman.
Okay, we'll take it.
Terry Jacks.
Put you on the spot there. You can give us a few more a little later on in the show.
You know what? I'm going to give you a few more now because Paul did some research.
Okay.
Leading the list in Juno Awards, Anne Murray at 25.
Wow.
2, Bryan Adams 21.
But The Weeknd didn't even show up. It's kind of an...
I know. It's like Paul not showing
Arnold
up.
says he's on tour, but The Weeknd's rarely shows up on Monday, right?
Yeah, I see. That's right. Good point. That's but nicely done. Okay. Well, we're here anyway. 5 is our temperature right now. That's a good sign, yeah. 5 temperature right now. Showers have been around this morning, but now, a couple left over. I don't think we're going to see a lot of shower activity right in the van. Greatest chance closest to the mountains, but today's the last gasp of some showers, especially up the coast. Even up Howe Sound, more precipitation than we'll get here in Vancouver. And you go up island, some showers through the day, no doubt about it. 0 in Nanaimo, Port Alberni, Campbell River -2 right now. It's cool there and it's chilly in the interior. Kelowna -5, Cranbrook -2, Quesnel at -9. How about Fort St. John at -21? The air mass is going to stay chilly for a couple. These rain showers, some snow showers over the mountains and up the coast as well mixed in. The interior, a lot less action today after some heavy snow in the mountain passes the last couple of days, down to a few flurries today. There's 10 o'clock tonight, the last gasp of precipitation likely. Maybe a shower tomorrow morning, but it'll be very early, then some clearing. I love the looks of that. Watch how the storm track goes well to the north as we go through tomorrow and Friday, there's Thursday. Let me take you into Friday. And even Saturday, the ridge of high pressure should hold, meaning some fine kind of spring-like weather on the way. Today, turning into a mix of sun and cloud for Prince George, Quesnel, the Peace, mostly sunny but cold there. There are those showers of rain or mixed rain and snow north and central coast. And through Whistler, some morning snow showers, a couple rain showers later. Partly sunny through the Thompson Okanagan and up 7-8 degrees. That's okay. South coast, again, bands of showers sweeping in from time to time. Lower mainland, not too many to the border, but the odd one today and highs close to 8. Tomorrow, the rest of today, you see some of that sun later on and highs about 8 degrees as mentioned, so still cool, just 8 or maybe 9 tomorrow, but clearing. Milder Thursday after a chilly start, and then Friday, Saturday, also awesome. There you go.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And stay with us. A look at your top stories right after this break as gunfire erupts in Surrey. One person shot in a residential area. Those developing details coming up right after this break.
We got paid $100K to steal an old gun.
Grievance set up!
Gotham Knights. New series premieres tonight at 9, only on Showcase.
It's bonus days at Visions Electronics. Take advantage of special offers like buy one, get one, and other bonus offers throughout the store. All at the lowest price guaranteed. Plus, you save even more when you pick up in store with up to 48 months to pay interest-free. See all the deals at visions.ca.
This is in-depth. This is instrumental. This is inspiring. This is BC. The special stories that shape our province, as suggested by our viewers. This is BC with Jay Durant. Real people, real stories on Global News Hour at 6. This is BC with Jay Durant is brought to you in part by JM Media. We make advertising easy.
The Nissan Institute of Thrillology, we're looking at the cold hard data on cold weather convenience and all-wheel drive confidence. That's the power of Thrillology.
Lease a 2023 Rogue from $99 weekly for only 24 months.
Pure pleasure is enjoying the perfect blend of sun-toasted oats and real ingredients, carefully selected for our delicious Go Pure oatmeal bars. Go Pure, a moment of pure pleasure. Can the clothes we wear make a difference? If they're from a company that acts ethically and responsibly, we can feel good in what we wear. It's the
small choices we make that make a big impact on our world. MPG Sport.
Summer is a perfect time to see the Yukon. The midnight sun just never sets. Well, maybe for like 10 minutes, but then it's back. So you can hike these huge mountains. It's unbelievable.
With Clean at Sephora, we celebrate more than what's not in our products. It's the good we put in that moves the industry forward. With nearly 100 best-in-class brands, it's a clean you can count on.
For every frosty sleeper, toasty snoozer, or mix of everything in between, Mix and Match is back. And now for a limited time, buy one of our best-selling pillows and get the second free. Sleep well, stay well. Sleep Country.
According to these original utility maps, water lines don't go past the driveway.
Oh no. You never know what's down below. Avoid damage to underground infrastructure. Click or call before you dig.
Introducing the Joyce Box, fighting against thirst one squeeze at a time. Juicinda Pouch, ready for action and always on the go. The mission, to push their straws down so they can be recycled together. Sarah Cask is large and in charge, never separated from her trusty sidekick, the inside bag. OJ Carton, the shapeshifter, refundable no matter what drink they contained. Don't forget, bring back these recyclable drink containers for the deposit refund at your local Return It location.
911, what's your emergency?
All new 911. 8 Eastern on Global. You're watching Global BC. This is Global News Morning.
Condo buildings that weren't previously 55 plus, they have been allowed to change.
A bylaw that is not aging well. The calls for the province to crack down on a restrictive strata loophole. Good morning and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. First, a look at our top stories with Paul Haysom. Paul.
Thank you, Sonia. One person has been killed from a shooting in Surrey on Monday night. That story this morning. Emily Ihit has now taken over the case.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. That is after one person was found dead in a vehicle yesterday, late yesterday evening around 8 p.m. Now, the IHIT, again, has taken over the case. They have about a block taped off here. That's because the property, the home that sits behind police tape, sits on a property about 1.1 acres big, as well as there's a business on this property. It's a massage therapy business. Now, RCMP say shots rang out just before 8 p.m. We're here at 168th Street and 22nd Avenue. Here, officers found one person dead in a parked car. And the coroner has come and gone, and police have not yet released the victim's identity or details of whether anyone is in custody. No information yet on whether this incident was targeted or part of the Lower Mainland gang conflict. Now, IHIT has taken over the investigation, and anyone with information is asked to contact them. So in terms of police activity, quite quiet this morning. There's a few RCMP vehicles manning the scene, but that's about it. We have reached out to IHIT for more information. Hopefully we'll get some more details later today. Paul?
Thank you, Emily. Emily Lazatin in Surrey. BC's Public Safety Minister and Attorney General have returned from Ottawa after a meeting about bail reform, but many wonder what kind of difference it will actually make. The meeting was held on Friday in Ottawa between BC's top law enforcement ministers and their federal counterparts. Among the changes pitched to Ottawa by the province is to create a reverse onus, which would require some offenders to prove. But experts warn that might not apply to repeat offenders who commit non-violent crimes.
For months, we've joined our provincial and federal counterparts advocating for changes to a bail system that doesn't adequately address repeat violent offenders. I'm encouraged that during last week's visit to Ottawa, the federal government agreed to make amendments to the criminal code that would target repeat violent offenders.
I expect that we will see changes that create a reverse onus in firearms-related offense situations. That being said, I think that we many changes as what the provinces are asking for, particularly when it comes to people who are on bail for repeat property crime offenses.
Ottawa hasn't said what kind of specific changes might be made to the criminal code. The Prince George School District is dealing with a bit of a staffing upheaval.
I thought I needed to be the change that I wanted to see happen,
and that was to resign.
It started with a secret meeting held on Thursday to relieve Superintendent Cindy Heitman of her duties. The school district will now be on to its 7th many years. 2 trustees have now resigned over what they describe as the divisive culture created by other board members.
I didn't feel part of a board. I didn't feel that 7 people ever came together. No, I don't think I ever felt welcomed or included.
I think the last while has shown me that there isn't any way I could the amount of division in our school board.
The board chair has not responded to multiple requests for comment. A new report by Live Rent shows Vancouver saw a large increase in rent prices in 2022. Compared to Toronto and Montreal, Vancouver had the largest price increase last year, going up 25% for 1 to 3 bedroom units. The report says this is mostly due to a larger increase in demand as the province's population increased 2.2% last year. Had the highest rental prices of the year for both furnished and unfurnished units. More than 40% of renters say the worst part of renting is the price. No real surprise there. It's also what's most important to them. A Vancouver Island woman is asking Premier David Eby to rethink the new age-restricted strata rules. Brianne Pascoe recently bought a condo in a 19-plus building in Duncan. Since the province changed the age restriction rules, her strata has voted to switch to a 55-plus building. She can stay, but says this change now prevents her from moving in any future partner, having a roommate under the age, and it lowers her property value.
Everything I feel like is just up in the air for me now. I had purchased the unit in hopes of it being like a nice little stepping stone. I'm kind of hoping he will revoke what he said. Anyone who wasn't already a 55 plus building, you know, you're kind of out of luck. There's plenty of them that are already designated 55 plus buildings. So he's left this loophole open where you can change to.
When asked about the situation, Eby says the province is looking into amendments to the changes. Some dramatic moments at the Juno Awards on Monday night when Avril Lavigne had to shoo a topless protester off the stage. The Canadian singer was in the middle of introducing AP Dillon when the protester got onto the stage and started walking around, as you can see. Written on her body were the words "Save the Greenbelt" and "Land Back." Avril sidestepped the interruption for a few seconds. Lavigne eventually used some colorful language and told the uninvited guests to. A new report into air quality around the world shows Canada and BC is starting to lag behind. The IQ Air's Global Air Quality Report has Canada ranked 111 out of 131 countries. However, northwest areas of BC have seen an increase in pollution. Vancouver in particular saw a spike in hazardous air quality. The report says that is mostly due to trends like increasing wildfires, which will likely continue. Langley, Delta, and Pitt Meadows were some polluted cities in the Lower Mainland, while Chilliwack was one of the worst. As we turn things over to our chief meteorologist, Mark Madriga, up on the rooftop this morning. Mark, how's it feeling up there today?
Feeling okay, Paul.
All right.
Yeah, it's cool. The air is quite chilly all the way up through the atmosphere. It's going to stay this way through tomorrow and even Thursday. Don't expect, the middle of summer kind of temperatures, but it'll get up a little over 10, maybe 12 degrees Thursday, and then even warmer after that. So the trend is a good one as we will get a feel of spring. And of cloud, no rain right now. We've had some showers this morning. Couple more showers could easily pass through here today, especially this morning and again tonight. Through the afternoon, should have some nice breaks in the clouds and just a slight chance of showers. So really it's one more somewhat unsettled day, but we'll squeeze in some sun with a high of 8. Tomorrow, 8 or 9, staying on the cool side, but clearing. How about that? And then Thursday, sunny, but the morning, and then a high of 10 to maybe as high as 13, and even a little higher in temperatures mentioned Friday and Saturday, and mostly sunny, just awesome in the long term. 2:24 p.m. on Monday. Next Monday is the first moment of spring officially. Caitlin, there you go.
PM.
Pardon?
2:24 p.m.
2:24 p.m. on Monday, yeah, is when spring begins. And we were debating whether it was. And I should have known. I knew it was PM, but
we knew, yeah. We knew you knew. It was me that didn't know. I was just being silly.
That's cute.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. It's racing down here. Time goes by so fast sometimes. All right. We've got a pretty eventful morning for you in Metro Vancouver. Of course, it is spring break. A road slight. Well, we'll see about that. Let's see how things are picking up over the borders as we check in now with Amber Belzer.
It looks like a lot of people are headed down for some cross-border shopping or adventures, and it is a little bit busy south of 99. As you make your way into one lane at the Peace Arch border crossing going into the U.S. Over at the truck crossing, it's about the same. You've probably got about a 10 to 15 minute wait southbound for both crossings. BCAA members save 3 cents per litre off fuel at Shell, plus 10% off in-store purchases and car washes. Conditions apply. Visit shell.ca/BCAA. Caitlin?
Thanks very much, Amber. You know that's going to pick up a little bit later on, so heads up. All right. We're going to kind of jump around here, Metro Vancouver. Issues around here. Here we've got a problem on the Sea to Sky Highway around Britannia Beach. So you can see that traffic is really starting to slow down for the northbound if you are heading through that area. We're going to Vancouver now, where there is a crash on First Avenue westbound at Clark Drive. Through this photo, it looks like westbound traffic is going to be blocked there, and you're going to get crews on scene. And I know this is a big route for many people from Highway 1 into downtown, so a heads up here. You might just want to avoid that area in either direction. A stalled semi taking up Highway 17 westbound before you head underneath the Alex Fraser Bridge. There is a main road truck on scene saying that it is off to the side, and they're essentially just one lane for Highway 17 through that area. That's your OK Tire traffic.
All right, wonderful. Thanks very much, Caitlin. Coming up after the break, we speak to the mayor of Nanaimo about a business owner who was recently shot at while trying to get back stolen property. More on the growing safety concerns in Nanaimo coming up after the break.
There are going to be some things coming out about your dad. Did you know he was Batman?
My God. You think I killed my dad because I wanted his money?
Look around. A bunch of thieves turned fugitives. Joker's delusional daughter. A sidekick. Batman's orphan.
Time to pick a side.
Who's going to solve the murder of Bruce Wayne?
Gotham Knights. New series premieres tonight at 9.
No two bodies are the same. Some pads never got that message, but Always Flex Foam did. It protects against different flows for up to 0 leaks, and it flexes to fit all bodies for up to 0 feel. Feel it yourself with Always Flex Foam.
Hi, I'm Steve Ranson, President and CEO of Home Equity Bank. I've worked in Canadian financial services industry for over 30 years. I've seen the economy go up and down. While accessing cash in retirement, older Canadian homeowners have a safe and practical solution to consider. With a chip reverse mortgage from Home Equity Bank, you can securely access some of your equity and stay in the home you love.
If you're 55 or older, you could get up to 55% of your home's value in tax-free cash. Take only what you need in a lump sum or over time with no monthly mortgage payments required. Call 1-855-778-2447 for your free, no-obligation guide.
In these uncertain financial times, the a secure retirement.
For your free guide, call 1-855-778-2447. That's 1-855-778-CHIP. Or visit chip.ca. Call CHIP today and live retirement your way.
At Phil's Batteries and More, we've got the right battery for the job, including our own Northern Energy batteries. We offer free systems checks, battery recycling, battery chargers, solar panels, and a friendly, no-hassle service. We're family owned and operated. Want to start something?
You were born for this.
Thank you.
Fire Country. New episodes return Friday, March 31st on Global.
Taking a look at your markets this morning, the S&P TSX Composite is on the rise. The Venture is up as well in American markets. The Dow, the Nasdaq, and S&P 500 all rallying this morning. Canadian dollar is up, gold is down, and oil is down as well. A Nanaimo business owner is recovering after being trying to retrieve stolen property from a homeless encampment. Locals are now speaking out about growing concerns around safety in their community. Leonard Krogh is the mayor of Nanaimo and is joining us now with more. We know that this has been an ongoing issue in Nanaimo. Give us an update on what's been happening and this latest incident.
Good morning. Well, thanks for having me.
Look, an individual with some friends went into a homeless camp. Stolen property. They were able to recover it. As they were leaving, an altercation broke out. It concluded with shots being fired literally across the island highway, which bisects the city of Nanaimo. One individual is in hospital. I think his injuries are fairly serious, and we're all praying that he has a full recovery. But you know, this is the tip of the iceberg that is in every community in this province, and it revolves around the street disorder, the mental health, addictions, brain injury that is in our streets, people untreated, people in severe addiction, committing a lot of property theft in order to support their drug habits. And we were bound to come to this, I'm afraid, and it saddens me to say that.
Yes, and you know, unfortunately, the street disorder that you're talking about, these issues, there really isn't any city in BC that is, or town that is immune to it right now. What do you see as the solution? What needs to happen from a municipal standpoint or from provincial?
Look, from a municipal standpoint, we are in the middle of hiring 15 more RCMP officers over 5 years. We've set up a community safety officers program with a dozen individuals. We've budgeted for more bike cops. That's not going to fix the underlying failures of 30, 40 years of social and health policy. The reality is there are a number of people on our streets who should be in secure, involuntary care. Alternatively, some of them in jail. And hopefully they're getting some treatment as well. But those are the long-term solutions that are only going to come through the province and to some extent the federal government. The recent changes announced around bail will prevent some folks from continuing to commit crimes while they're awaiting trial on existing charges. But this is a long-term problem. I wish I could say, you know, it'll be solved in a few years. And I'm grateful to the provincial government for the recent announcements around mental health and addiction services, but it's going to take a lot more.
What do you say to community members in Nanaimo or people in other cities that are dealing with the same thing? I mean, there's frustration at all levels right now.
Look, I tell them to lobby their politicians and lobby hard. I am not going to support the city getting into providing services. I know other municipalities have. We don't have the resources, the legal responsibility, or the jurisdiction to do so. But the province needs to recognize, and I've said this over and over again, I'm the mayor of a civic government, a municipality. What do I hear constantly? I hear constantly from the lips of my citizens the issues around mental health, addictions, brain injury, trauma, the homelessness crisis generally. That's what's driving people. That is what is upsetting people. That their energy, and it's taking a great deal of energy from the city of Nanaimo and its staff, who should be frankly dealing with the things that we are created to deal with. Your water, your sewer, your garbage, your parks and recreation, local culture, those things. This is not our bailiwick. And I'm not passing the buck here, but we need to recognize we don't have, as I say, the resources or the ability to solve these long-term issues that were created when we started shutting down every institutional setting in the province and believing somehow folks in their home communities, which never frankly happened, and that's true of governments of every stripe in this province's history.
Have you had any conversations with the current premier about alleviating some of these issues, or at least working on them? We know that the province is trying to get more housing into places like Vancouver. I'm not sure if that conversation is also happening in Nanaimo, or mental health supports.
It certainly is. Look, we are getting housing built here, but it's not enough. I've had a conversation with the in addition, I had many conversations with him as part of the BC Urban Mayors Caucus when he was Attorney General and the Minister responsible for housing. Last year, when he was campaigning for the leadership, the Premier talked about involuntary treatment. He was on the money. People support that, and people want to see that, and they want to see it in the kind of volume, if you will, the number of beds that will actually make a dent in the crisis in our streets. We got to remember, these are human beings. These are not animals running around in our street. These are somebody's sons and daughters and husbands and wives. to allow this to continue is just wrong on every level, and frankly, it is costly beyond imagination. It would be so much cheaper to simply, in the longer haul, provide the care and support that's necessary so that, frankly, the relatives and the loved ones of many of these folks can go to bed knowing they're safe and secure at night, just like everybody under their roof.
All right. Thank you much for joining us. That is Nanaimo Mayor Leonard Krogh.
Thank you so much for bringing attention to this issue.
Absolutely. All right, stay with us. Coming up after the break, if you want to make a BC Ferries reservation, there is now an app for that. Yes, the details on how it works when we come back.
You got him?
They got him.
CSI Vegas. New episodes return Thursday, March 3rd.
Frito-Lay variety packs have a snack for every occasion. Like at-home movie nights, family card games, birthday parties, or at the game. Mix it up with Frito-Lay variety packs.
They say the first step is always the hardest. Putting yourself out there and leaving behind your fears. But it is when we have the courage to step forward. Adventure begins. Take the first step in your EV journey with the all-new Nero EV. Kia. Movement that inspires.
GST, HST credit, I wasn't expecting a lot back, but when I did check my account randomly and I seen it there, I was like, oh wow, it's a nice little surprise. Just getting that little extra, it means a lot.
Do your taxes to receive the benefits and credits you may qualify for.
Daddy, show us your gross toenail.
Your gross toenail? Do you have nail fungus?
Yes, it's nail fungus. It's a fungal infection that eats away at your nail.
It may be nothing, but I don't want to get it.
And it can spread to other people. It's contagious.
We want to see.
I think it's time you took care of that.
But I don't have it.
Yes, you have it. It's an infection. You need a prescription.
Nail fungus should be taken seriously. At the first signs, show it to your doctor and ask about prescription treatments that can be applied to the nail.
Get ready for Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Pacific Coliseum this week. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Great seats still available. You have to see it live. So lock in your seats today at monsterjam.com.
Closed captioning is brought to you in part by Milani Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. For fast, fair, and reliable service, call 604-888-8888.
Good morning. I'm Amber Belzer in Global One over the Golden Ears Bridge deck. We are looking good here in both directions. Steady for traffic coming in and out of Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows, and also on the Langley side. Today's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $29 million. Lotto Max, dream to the max.
Thank you very much, Amber. Let's bring in Mark now with a look at our forecast and a beautiful start to the morning here. We know it's been a bit of a kind of touch and go start when it comes to the. It looks like a bit of clearing there behind you.
Yeah, I don't expect too many showers from now through the afternoon. Could have the odd one roll through here, especially near the mountains, and then a few more tonight, and then we're home free. We should be dry for several days. This is a live shot from an area on the New West side near the Patello Bridge, looking towards Surrey and beyond. I think that's Baker there. Paul's watching this, right, Paul? Hard to see, but it's obscured, but some bright spots to the east and southeast of the area this morning. In the high category is our pollen count, or at least the forecast for the day. So, yeah, the allergies could be acting up in your neighborhood. This is for Metro Vancouver. Our React and Pollen Report forecast twice every weekday morning. Janine, this was on Yvonne's weather section last night on the News Hour, showing this as the weather window picture of the day, and I love it, that crocus, and there'll be many more popping up. They're already up. But they're going to enjoy some milder weather in the long term. Still chilly in the nighttime hours, though, in the mornings. that passed through earlier. Still some near the mountains. Still a few more to come during the day, but especially up Howe Sound, north of Vancouver, mostly through the day, and up the north and central coast, several showers, and also on the west side of the island. This is still a trough of low pressure, upper low in here, so that all has to come through before the ridge builds, and that'll be starting tomorrow. Gradual warming as we head through the rest of the week. To take you through the next few hours, again, some drier air in the lower mainland right here. Most of the and west of us. The interior, a lot less action today. We've had the heavy snow in the mountain passes the last couple of days. We're down to a few flurries, it looks like today. Decent travel conditions, certainly not optimum with some slick roads, but at least we're down to some flurries. There's Helmer Lake, Highway 5 between Kamloops and Merritt. Looks a little clearer there. Rainfall, again, west side of Vancouver Island, northward, the main hit of those showers today. North coast showers. Snow, sun and cloud for Prince George Quesnel later. Mostly sunny in the Peace, but cold. Whitehorse -10 and mostly cloudy. Sunny periods through the Thompson, Okanagan, Caribou region, Nicola Valley, and the Kootenay country too, with highs of 4 to 8. And overall, the south coast, anywhere from about 7 to 8 or 9 for a high today. Chance of a shower for us, especially again tonight. Clearing tomorrow. Mild start, and then fine weather continuing Friday and Saturday, Caitlin.
Wow, that's pretty nice, finally, right?
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Many,
absolutely. Yeah. Double digits, bright sunshine.
Oh, perfect.
Who could ask for anything more, right?
I don't know. Not me.
Okay, never mind. All right, we've got a couple issues on the go for this Tuesday morning. Let's hop right over to the Port Mann Bridge, and we're still dealing with this multi-vehicle collision eastbound at the west end, and it's affecting kind of traffic there in all directions. We don't have our cameras just past the problem, but there was about 5 vehicles involved. And you can see that eastbound traffic is moving along just fine. Once you get past it, you've got the HOV lane in your favor as well, and westbound heavy too for both those through lanes and the Coquitlam exit lanes. But moving a little bit better down the hill, so that's excellent news. We're going to Vancouver now, where you're getting by in one eastbound lane, so a collision at Clark and First Avenue. Police are on the scene, fire trucks there, and they've got the cones out. So it doesn't look like westbound First is going anywhere, so you might want to head to Hastings or maybe Grandview Highway as an alternate route. Speaking of things that aren't going anywhere, neither is a stalled semi along Highway 17, the South Fraser Perimeter Road, westbound just before you get underneath the main road truck off to the side, and that's what's causing the lane closure, so expect delays. That's your OK Tire traffic.
Thank you very much, Caitlin. Well, for all you ferry travelers, BC Ferries finally has its own app. The app will allow people to make bookings, view schedules, read up on current conditions, and check in at the terminal. The route schedules show the next sailing being ticketed, as well as the amount of deck space available. The app also includes alerts and might come in handy during long weekends or bad weather. Stay with us. A look at your top stories after the break, and a fire sweeps through a courthouse in Golden. We'll tell you why arson is being suspected. We'll be right back.
This Global News Pollen Report is brought to you by Reactin. When allergies hit fast, Reactin acts fast.
I've been waiting my whole life to do this. All I know is I need to go out there and win this.
This TD Easy Trade app is incredible. It gives me what I need to invest on my own. What do you use?
I just go with the internet comment section. They're over there. Diversification from immersification.
The longer the stock symbol, the better.
Trust me, I am a Wall Street professional.
Can I see that app?
Invest, learn, talk to a live rep, all on the same app with TD Easy Trade. Get 50 commission-free stock trades every year. TD, ready to help you move forward.
The all-new Infiniti QX60. Take on your wild world in style.
Ring ding 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 a ding. Police ring a ding ding. What pow Uber one?
You foxes talking about me?
No, it's just
Ring a ding.
Ring a ding ding police.
Fuck's sake!
You gotta get rid of this.
Tell me why.
'Cause it stinks.
Tell me why.
I don't know. I've washed it so many times.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh?
It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them 3 times better than detergent alone.
Nope. That's not us.
Sorry.
Rinse odor away with new Downy Rinse and Refresh.
Look at this guy. He's really working hard. You know what he'll get? Muscle pain. Give up. The couch is calling. Pain says you can't. Advil says you can.
The next Lotto 649 Gold Ball jackpot is a big one. It's a massive 46 million. Imagine the possibilities. Plus the classic $5 million jackpot. That's 2 jackpots on every ticket. The Lotto 649 Classic Jackpot and the growing Gold Ball Jackpot. 2 chances to find your possible.
Yellow lines are everywhere. We need a little help. Giving us a heads up. And warning us before we cross them. So that when life doesn't give us the yellow line,
Hun, can you grab that?
we know what to do. Let's keep it preventable.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by Loblaws Marketplace. Visit realcanadian.ca to shop Marketplace. You're watching Global BC. This is Global News Morning.
The lion's share of these tickets are written at red lights when you're stationary.
Modernizing BC's distracted driving law. The rules causing confusion and prompting calls for a shift in gears to keep up with technology. Good morning and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. And Paul, as we said, it's here at Global BC because we are celebrating 10 years since BC One first hit the airwaves.
Double digits, and you were here day number 1,
Day
correct?
number 1. That's why I came to Global BC in the first place, was for BC One.
You know what? I watched an old story back, which was about the launch day, and it had you involved in it. You look exactly the same.
Well,
10 years have gone by, you look exactly the same.
Thanks for saying that. And a little behind the scenes. We used to work together on BC One.
I was your producer for a while. That's
Amazing.
right. Good.
Well, I don't have that authority anyways.
All right, we'll get to maybe that a little bit later, but right now we're going to start in Surrey. Thanks, Sonia. One person has been killed from a shooting in Surrey on Monday night. Emily Lazatin is covering that story this morning. Emily, what do we know so far?
Yeah, Paul, IHIT has taken over the case after one person was found dead parked in a car vehicle. Now we're here in the Grandview Heights neighborhood of Surrey, and there's a police tape. It also sits on a big plot of land, about 1.1 acres. As well, there is a business, a massage therapy business on that property to the left of it. Now, in terms of an investigation, very little going on right now. There are a few vehicles manning, RCMP vehicles manning the scene. Now, RCMP shots rang out just before 8 p.m. last night in this area of 168th Street and 22nd Avenue. Here, officers found one parked car. And the coroner has come and gone, and police have not released the victim's identity or released details of whether the victim, whether there's anyone in custody. Now, no information yet on whether this was targeted or part of the Lower Mainland gang conflict. Again, IHIT has taken over the case, and anyone with information is asked to contact them. So again, Paul, there is a massage therapy business on this lot as well. There are still several cars parked behind police tape. One person was found here dead last night. We've reached out to IHIT for more information, so hopefully we'll hear more later today. Paul?
In Surrey. Breaking news, Federal Transportation Minister Omar Al-Gabra has announced new funding to help clear the backlog of people seeking compensation for travel disruptions. $76 million over the next 3 years will go towards hiring 200 new Canadian Transport Authority employees to help deal with the more than 42,000 air travel complaints caused by the pandemic and weather-related issues. There has been a record number of complaints over the last 3 10,000 alone from this past holiday season.
Travelers have experienced unacceptable delays, flight cancellations, lost luggage, and many more issues. The industry and our government have been working together to make sure issues are addressed. But it's clear that there's still work to be done.
The government is working on other significant reforms to the air passenger protection regulations to ensure that rights are even better protected moving forward. A 38-year-old driver is facing murder charges after hitting a group of pedestrians with a pickup truck, killing 2 people in Quebec. The incident happened Monday afternoon in the town of Amqui, about 350 kilometers northeast of Quebec City. 2 men were killed, one in his 60s, the other in his 70s. 9 other people were injured, including 3 people whose injuries are considered serious. The driver later turned himself into police. A motive has not been determined. 1 man is in stable condition in hospital from a shooting near a tent city in downtown Nanaimo. That happened Sunday afternoon. Police say the victim is a local business owner who was part of a group who went to the encampment to recover stolen property. There was an altercation between the group and some residents of the tent city, and that's when the man was apparently shot. When police arrived, they arrested 2 people, and after a search,
yeah, if it wasn't for him, we probably would have all got shot because they were definitely shooting at us. He just kind of blocked cover fire and told us to get across the road as fast as we could.
The open drug use, the inability of us as a society to get a handle on this, our inability to provide appropriate housing, a continuum of care, what is referred to as catch and release in the court system, the failure to keep people in custody pending trial when they're significant repeat offenders, come together. It's a crisis.
Anyone who witnessed the altercation or may have dash cam footage of the incident is asked to contact Nanaimo RCMP. Victoria Police says one of its officers was stabbed with a needle while responding to an overdose. It happened near Mason Street and Vancouver Street on Saturday night. Vic PD says officers were treating an unconscious person when a crowd gathered and tried to stop them. Additional officers started to push that crowd back when a man in the crowd in the arm with a needle. The man was arrested while the person experiencing an overdose regained consciousness. The officer was treated in hospital. A body has been discovered inside a tent along Hastings Street after another fire broke out. Crews responded to a tent fire near Hastings in Maine around 5:30 p.m. on Sunday. After putting out the flames, they found the body of a woman inside. Vancouver police then called in. Officers still working to determine the cause of death, but evidence indicates the woman was already dead before the fire started. Police believe a fire that destroyed the courthouse in Golden was deliberately set. Investigators are only beginning the process of figuring out how the fire started, but as Catherine Urquhart reports, early signs point to arson.
Smoldering remains are all that's left of the provincial courthouse in Golden, BC. Despite massive efforts by firefighters, flames quickly engulfed the building, leaving it heavily damaged.
The whole roof has collapsed, and as you can see on the two front corners there, the bricks are about to come down. We'll have that all cordoned off fairly soon.
The RCMP say early indications point to arson. So far, no suspects have been identified, and they're seeking dash cam and surveillance video.
We will be canvassing the area. Obviously, video surveillance is a key part of those types of this type of investigation, and reaching out to people who may be residing in the area if they heard anything or saw anything suspicious.
Ministry for the Attorney General says, while there are no hearings scheduled to take place this week, ministry staff are working with the courts to find alternate sites for future hearings scheduled at this location.
I was notified about that fire this morning. Obviously, it's disturbing.
Losing the courthouse building will also impact Service BC, which was located there along with other resources.
On the backside of the building is also where Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure and the conservation officers are located.
One firefighter was injured after falling off the is expected to recover. The investigation into this suspicious fire is in its early stages as experts try to determine how the fire started and who may be responsible. Catherine Urquhart, Global News.
Several teenagers were arrested after bear spray was allegedly used against staff at a New Westminster bar. It happened last Thursday. New West police say staff at a bar on the 200 block of Columbia Street had asked people to leave the establishment. A suspect then pulled out bear spray and deployed it towards the staff. The group of teens fled towards the Columbia SkyTrain station where they were arrested by transit police. Anyone who witnessed the incident is asked to contact New West Police. Environmental officials now confirm that raw sewage leaked into the Capilano River on the North Shore, but they're still working to identify the source. The leak was first made public on Friday by the Squamish Nation. Says it was first brought to their attention 6 days before that. Crews have deployed sandbags and they're using pumps. Officials say the spill is now contained. The ministry says dye testing will be done to determine the source.
Dye would be placed into the sanitary systems in the area, and then the outfall would be observed to see whether that dye comes through on the other side, and then they can determine whether there's a cross-contamination between the various lines.
The property manager for says so far dye testing has established no clear connection between the sanitary lines and the leak. The Squamish First Nation says it's less concerned about where the spill came from, but getting it cleaned up as quickly as possible. A Vancouver-based mining company is appealing more than $16 million in penalties from the BC Environment Ministry, which is not sitting well with the First Nation in the Kootenays. The fines against Teck Coal are related to water pollution in southeast BC and the company's failure to complete its river water treatment facility by deadline. First Nation says it's appalled to learn of the appeal, arguing the company is trying to avoid responsibility. In an email statement to Global News, Teck says it has concerns about the process. It says it's seeking an option so that funds could go towards the community or environmental programs that support the First Nations goals. A new poll shows Canadians are disinterested by the upcoming coronation of King Charles. The poll by Leger suggests 67% of Canadians feel indifferent. More than half even believe his coronation is the right time for Canada to reconsider its ties with the monarchy. The survey showed attachment to the monarchy has dropped since the death of Queen Elizabeth II, with 81% of people saying they don't feel any personal connection with the crown. The King's coronation is set for May the 6th. Calls for BC's distracted driving laws to get rewritten after an enforcement campaign led to some confusion. ICBC had to put out an apology video after incorrectly stating that having next to you while driving is an offense. A BC Supreme Court case from 2019 settled that, but not everyone is aware. Questions have been raised about why using giant screens in cars like a Tesla don't count as distracted driving, or why other distracted actions that don't involve a screen aren't being targeted. Advocates say a new law is needed to offer some clarity.
The intent of it was so that you didn't have your phone in your hand while you were talking or your phone in your hand while you were texting. But it morphed from there because of how poorly worded the legislation was. It morphed from there simply being on your lap or in the cup holder or on the seat.
Often if there is a BC Supreme Court judgment that says, this one thing that police officers have been ticketing for is not actually part of the offense, we have to go to court repeatedly, show the decision to multiple officers before the message finally gets out there.
In BC, distracted driving could land you a $368 ticket and cost you 4 points. A young driver in the Fraser Valley has learned an expensive lesson about speed limits. The Abbotsford Police Department says it clocked a vehicle going 1 hour around 1 a.m. on Monday. The speed limit in that zone, 50K. The driver was just 17 years old with a Class 7N license. More than $1,000 in fines have been issued to the young driver, and the vehicle, which was their parents', has been impounded. Ooh, I'm sure the grounding might be worse than those fines as we turn things over to Caitlin Osansky.
Mom, Dad, how about your car?
Yeah, I got a story from last night. Yikes.
You weren't too attached to it, were you? Yeah, all right, that's not good news. All right. Let's see if Amber has some good news for us. Let's check in with her now. No?
Okay, we don't have Amber right now, but I do have a little bit of good news. I've got some bad news, though, before the good news. But we're still dealing with this crash here. Look how busy it is for First Avenue westbound. So a favorite of many people coming from Highway 1. Avoid it. You can always use Hastings or even Grandview Highway 12th Avenue as alternate routes. If you are coming from the highway into Vancouver, there's a crash there at not too long ago, so things might have changed here, but you can see that westbound traffic was blocked and you're only getting by in one eastbound lane. So certainly you might want to plan an alternate route. You don't want to be stuck in traffic for sure. Now for the good news. We did have a stalled semi here on the Highway 17, the South Fraser Perimeter Road. It's now gone. It was westbound just before the Alex Fraser, and it was off to the side. I mean, a big semi does kind of partially take up an extra lane there when it is off to the side, but it was a main road truck sitting there warning all the drivers. And traffic moving across the Port Mann Bridge now, and even this color makes things look a little bit better here. So here's the Port Mann. We're having, okay, there we go. It's business as usual there. You can see traffic in both directions. So I'm going to say that this one is hopefully a thing of the past. Traffic seems to be moving a lot better in both directions for Highway 1. That's your OK Tire traffic. And now we've got a contest for you. Looking for a spring getaway? Spring is a fantastic time to visit Osoyoos and catch some beach-worthy weather before the summer rush hits. We want to give you a chance to win a 2-night stay at Sparridge Ridge Lake Resort Winery and Sacred Land Winery, experiences at Burrowing Owl and Bartier Brothers, trail riding at Sun Hills Riding Center. Go to globalnews.ca/contest for your chance to win.
Wonderful. Thanks very much, Caitlin. And still ahead, her day job, so to speak, has her looking at the stars, but she likes to spend her time underwater. We speak to an author who has written the ultimate guide on snorkeling around the island and Gulf Islands when we come back, as we take a look at this live shot. Looking towards Science World, we'll also have a look at your weather forecast.
Exploration has begun.
Venture to new worlds in a world of comfort. Introducing the 2023 Outback.
When a full moon is at its closest point to Earth, you'll bear witness to a supermoon.
Hey, Dad.
Yes?
Your financial plan to pay for my education?
Let's talk about something else. Like the night you were conceived.
I am loving the new place. Heard you got a good mortgage rate.
I have a rash on my body.
We have to talk about our retirement savings.
I'm convinced the Earth is flat.
No.
Don't be afraid of the money talk. We do this kind of thing all the time. Our TD advisors are here to help you reach your financial goals. TD, ready to help you move forward. IKEA, bring home to life.
Hello, Canada. Hockey? Love it. And now I got something you're going to love. The Epson EcoTank printer. No more expensive cartridges. Slapshot. The Epson EcoTank. Just fill and chill.
My experience with Next Gen Hearing has changed my opinion on hearing aids. That's why I'm proud to announce that Next Gen Hearing Life. As a Hearing Life company, they can offer even more locations and benefits to serve your hearing care needs. New name, same great people. Committed to providing the hearing care that you have come to expect. Try them for yourself. I'm glad I did.
Marcia Gay Harden and Skylar Austin.
We're here to help you.
So help you Todd. New episode returns Thursday, March 30th on Global.
Welcome back, everybody. A very good morning. Satellite imagery, I see a number of things here. The main feature upper low here, but an upper trough and many showers embedded in that trough. A few in Metro Vancouver, not as many here in the Vancouver area, the Fraser Valley, as we'll see up the coast, even Howe Sound, west side of Vancouver Island. So showers sweeping on shore. The interior drier today. Still some flurries on those mountain passes. Way out here, high pressure will start to build. In fact, it's starting to build offshore, and it'll roll into the province tomorrow, meaning a stretch of much drier weather. Still cool, but gradual warming later in the week. Just to take you through tonight. Still some, well, there'll be showers come back tonight in Metro Vancouver, and then that'll be it for a few days. We'll see some flurries tomorrow morning. You see the south coast, nice clearing. Now that's tomorrow. Today still somewhat unsettled. Let me take you on my usual tour. The piece we start with, and I like that upward trend in temperature. 3 degrees in the sun on Thursday. -7 morning fog patches today, otherwise mostly sunny. -10 Whitehorse today. -6 for the high tomorrow. Warming on Thursday with a high of +3. North coast showers of rain or mixed rain and snow near the coast. Still cool enough. It's a chilly air mass holding across BC, even though we get well above freezing here in the south coast, for example. The air above us is quite cold. Flurries nicely dissipating, and some sun and cloud in the mix for the Caribou Central Interior today. Same for the Columbia Kootenay overall. Partly sunny and highs up to 6 degrees. And warming over time this week. 6 degrees Thompson, Okanagan, 7 tomorrow and Thursday. It'll be milder after that, but still a chill in the air, especially overnights where it will be below freezing. +2 Whistler today. Showers of rain or mixed rain and snow through the afternoon. In fact, a couple more tonight, and then the drying trend starts tomorrow, as it will on the east side of Vancouver Island, Victoria. Passing showers through the day today and into this evening. Mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Sunny on Thursday and Friday. Long term, I took it to as high as 15. Most places 12, 13 on Friday. Saturday, a beauty too. In fact, cool, but nice and sunny. The morning starting at 0. Today, some showers here and there and breaks of sun. There you are.
Thanks very much, Mark. Well, if you enjoy snorkeling, you don't necessarily need to head somewhere tropical. Our next guest says that you can find a treasure trove of underwater delights right here off the coast of BC. Sarah Ellison is the author of Snorkeling Adventures Around Vancouver Island and the Gulf Islands, The Ultimate Guide, and she is joining us now. Sarah, thanks so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, I think interested to know that by profession you're an astronomer, which has you looking to the sky at night and I guess underwater by day when you have some time for it. What are the similarities that you see between, space and the universe that we don't know that much about, and also the underwater world here?
Yeah, so I see the connection as a curiosity about nature. So as you said, in my day job, I spend my time puzzling of the cosmos, how the universe took those first building blocks of hydrogen and helium and built up the complex universe of galaxies we have today. And then when I look below the water, I see that same kind of marvel of complexity, the same sense of evolution from obviously the very simple life when Earth first formed to the incredible diversity that we see in our marine waters.
Absolutely. And so we're looking at some of the pictures. I mean, what first drew you to snorkeling, and when did you start?
So I've been a keen tropical snorkeler all of my adult life, but I first dipped my face in BC's waters probably around a decade ago, when my family and I started to spend more time around the Gulf Islands in the summer, and we would occasionally do a small snorkel off the beach, but we never stayed in for very long because the waters are very cold. And then it was at the start of COVID that we couldn't travel internationally anymore. We couldn't even really travel very much domestically. For my family and I deciding that we wanted to explore in much more detail our coastal regions. And so I started to do a lot of research of the kind of wetsuit that I needed to stay warm, the kind of places that I could go to see the best marine life. And there were very few resources available when I was trying to build these itineraries. And so that was the motivation for the book, was to be the handbook that I wish I had had when I was starting.
All right, so a lot that you have discovered. What are some of your favorite spots off the BC coast to snorkel, and suit that you need, and I guess the best time of year for it?
Yeah, so that's a very long question, so I'll take them one at a time. So the wetsuit, so you do need a very thick wetsuit if you want to be able to snorkel all year round. So my wetsuit is 7 millimeters thick, and it's made of a special kind of rubber called open cell neoprene. And what this basically means is that there isn't a fabric lining. So the rubber is sticking directly to your skin. in the neoprene form a suction, and it keeps me really warm. So even in the wintertime, when the water is only 7 or so degrees, I can still stay in for an hour or so. And then in the summertime, around the South Island, it warms up to around 13 degrees. In the Straits of Georgia, it can be as warm as 17 or 18. And so some people go without a wetsuit entirely or wear a thinner wetsuit. In terms of my favorite places to go, I always think this is like trying to choose between your children, because there's really fantastic snorkeling island, but the places that have a really special place in my heart are along the East Souk coastline. So that's exposed to the outer swell of the Pacific. So this means that the conditions can be a little bit more rugged and there can be quite strong currents. But it also means that there is this constant resupply of nutrients. And so this means that the marine diversity and the number of species is really, really. Even urban areas have fantastic spots to go to. So, for example, Clover Point, Ogden Point in the Victoria region, Net Point Park in Nanaimo. There's really something for everyone. And then in terms of season, again, something all year round. So in the wintertime, the visibility, so the water transparency can be really excellent, again, particularly in the Straits of Georgia. So this is really nice for being able to see deep. But in the summertime, the kelp forests are in full bloom, and being able to swim through these underwater jungles is really special as well.
Wow. Wonderful just hearing you talk about it. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us more about your book as well.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to check in with Caitlin now from the underwater seas to the roads above. Caitlin.
Yeah, no kelp forests here in Metro Vancouver on our roads, but we do have a couple of issues, and we'll get to those in just a moment. Let's see how traffic is moving across the Port Mann Bridge. We're checking now with Amber Belser.
It sure is moving a lot better than it was before we had that eastbound collision in the 152 exit lanes that had you down. Causing delays, but now smooth sailing. All lanes are open in both directions, and it's going to be a quick commute for you for traveling between Surrey and the Coquitlam side. Select Sussex Insurance and make a difference. When you renew your auto plan online, select your neighborhood Sussex Insurance when prompted, and a donation will be made to Diabetes Canada. Caitlin, back to you.
Thanks very much, Amber. Well, that's excellent news, and traffic westbound moving along just fine. Now, if you're taking First Avenue, a heads up here, we're seeing quite the slowdown. Westbound traffic's backed all the way from Renfrew right now, so I'm sure that you don't want to be sitting. An update. Yeah, you can see what's going on here. Not a good scene. 2 tow trucks on the scene. You've got police there as well. Earlier, there was a fire truck blocking one eastbound lane. It looks like maybe you're still down to one eastbound lane, but westbound certainly is blocked here as crews continue to clear this crash. So you can take Hastings or 12th Avenue, Grandview, of course, and use that to get onto Highway 1. So Highway 1 does start to back up right around Willingdon. That's pretty typical for this time of day. Looking good, though, as you make way across the bridge to and from the North Shore. That's your OK Tire traffic.
Very much, Caitlin, and stay with us. Your top stories are next, and we'll have a look at the story that we're following in Surrey. Gunfire erupting, 1 person shot and killed in a residential area. Those developing details when we come back.
Health Matters is brought to you by London Drugs Pharmacy, the heart of our business for over 75 years.
Performance that truly matters for each and every one of us. This is what you've been waiting for. Shen Yun, returning to Queen Elizabeth Theatre from March 21st to the 26th.
Miele dishwashers with Autodose. Never too much, never too little, always just brilliant. That's quality ahead of its time.
Allergy symptoms hit fast.
Suddenly, your face is stuffy, itchy, and runny all at the same time.
Good thing you have triple benefit Reactin liquid gels. They provide fast, effective relief of allergy symptoms and last 24 hours. When allergies hit fast, Reactin acts fast.
We all know everything is more expensive right now, but we want a high quality of life to travel or educate our kids.
And it's a great time to have more flexibility. Capital Direct allows you to do that.
Right now, it's more important than ever to plan your cash flows both in and
FlexiLine from Capital Direct can help you do that.
Whether you need 80,000, 180, or even 1.8 million.
Call us today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL to see what's available to you.
CapitalDirect.ca.
There's nothing quite like the feeling of stepping on the ice for the first time, or wearing your first number and scoring your first goal, of watching your favorite team win or your favorite player lose. And all this game has to offer, it keeps surprising you. On March 19th, the Carha Hockey World Cup comes to Richmond, BC.
It's the Rebels with a Cause app. We need to fight. The Game Time is Anytime app. Go! The catch up anywhere on all the thrilling twists. Remarkable renos, daring dishes, and can't miss channels app.
Pretty darn clever.
And now, with the new free play, it's also the how is it possible there are thousands of episodes I can watch absolutely free? One app's really got it all. The Global TV app. Download now and stream anytime.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by White Spot, where the great taste of breakfast starts early. We'll see you soon.
One person has been killed from a shooting in Surrey on Monday night. Emily Lazatin is covering that story this morning. Emily, iHit has now taken over the case.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. That is found dead in a vehicle yesterday, late yesterday evening around 8 p.m. Now, the iHit, again, has taken over the case. They have about a block taped off here. That's because the property, the home that sits behind police tape, sits on a property about 1.1 acres big, as well as there's a business on this property. It's a massage therapy business. Now, RCMP say shots rang out just before 8 p.m. in a residential area. We're here at 168th Street and 22nd Avenue. Here, officers found one person dead in a parked car. Has come and gone, and police have not yet released the victim's identity or details of whether anyone is in custody. No information yet on whether this incident was targeted or part of the Lower Mainland gang conflict. Now, iHit has taken over the investigation, and anyone with information is asked to contact them. So in terms of police activity, Paul, it is quite quiet this morning. There's a few RCMP vehicles manning the scene, but that's about it. We have reached out to iHit for more information. Hopefully we'll get Paul?
Thank you, Emily. Emily Lazatin in Surrey. The courthouse in Golden, BC has been destroyed by an early morning fire that appears to have been deliberately set. Around 3:30 Monday morning, flames shooting through the courthouse roof. By the time firefighters got there, the entire building was engulfed, and it took about 10 hours to extinguish the blaze. A firefighter was injured when a hose knocked him off the roof. They are expected to recover. The roof has collapsed, and two corners of the exterior wall are on the
This was an interesting one due to the nature of the type of building and the types of security that were involved with it, like the closed off rooms with the heavy security doors, the brick, the steel reinforcement and things like that. So when those rooms actually caught on fire, they're almost virtually impossible to get into until they got hot enough that the brick actually crumbled.
The cause of the fire has not been identified, but police do suspect arson. They say there are no suspects right now. The Prince George School District is facing upheaval.
I thought I needed to be the change that I wanted to see happen, and that was to resign.
It started with a secret meeting held on Thursday to relieve Superintendent Cindy Heitman of her duties. The school district will now be on its 7th superintendent in as many years. Two trustees have now resigned over what they describe as the divisive culture created by other board members.
I didn't feel part of a board. I didn't feel that 7 together. No, I don't think I ever felt welcomed or included.
I think the last while has shown me that there isn't any way I could fight the amount of division in our school board.
The board chair has not responded to requests for comment. A new poll shows Canadians want Ottawa to take a closer look into allegations of foreign interference. A third of people polled said the potential for foreign interference is important as it compromises the legitimacy of election results. Despite that, 71% of respondents say they still trust Canada's electoral system, 69% saying they generally trust election results. It comes amid allegations of foreign interference into Canada's 2019 and 2021 federal elections, which have been under scrutiny. 8 skunks found dead in Metro Vancouver last month have tested positive for avian flu. The animals were found in Richmond and Vancouver, and the carcasses were taken to the BC Animal Health Centre for testing. All of the animals had the same strain of H5N1 bird flu that's been killing poultry and wild animals for nearly a year. The skunks are believed to have contracted the disease by scavenging infected wild birds. If you do come across dead wildlife, leave it alone and contact the BC Wildlife Health Program. Distracted driving laws to be rewritten after an enforcement campaign led to some confusion. ICBC put out an apology video after incorrectly stating that having your phone on your seat next to you while driving is an offense. A BC Supreme Court case from 2019 settled that, but not everyone is aware. Questions have also been raised about why using giant screens in cars like a Tesla don't count as distracted driving and why other distracted actions that don't involve a screen either. Advocates say a new law is needed to offer clarity.
More than 3/4 of those tickets are written by people pulling up to red lights and plugging their phone in or picking up their phone for a second. And yeah, you're guilty of an offense, which shouldn't be an offense. Not any different than if you pull up to a red light and you adjust the radio.
There's all sorts of other distractions on the road too, like, eating or doing your makeup or shaving, all things that people do while they're driving that aren't expressly prohibited. But if you're going to make a law that deals specifically with electronic, we know that technology, when it comes to electronic devices, advances quickly, then you need to be committed to updating that law to keep in step with technology.
Yeah, don't shave and drive. In BC, distracted driving could land you a $368 ticket and cost you 4 points. Well, it only took until 2023, but BC Ferries finally has its own app. The app allows travelers to make bookings, view schedules, and read up on current conditions and check in at the terminal. The route schedules show the next sailing being ticketed as well as the amount of available. The app also includes alerts and service notice, which might come in handy during long weekends or bad weather.
We have some breaking news this morning. A pedestrian has been struck by a vehicle in Abbotsford. It happened early this morning. Police say it happened at about 5:30 a.m. at the intersection of a West Railway Street and Essendine Avenue. The pedestrian has been transported to hospital in serious. The driver is cooperating with police. Parts of the intersection are still closed, and there are police vehicles on scene. Well, stay with us. We'll continue to follow that story. Plus, after the break, we hear from the mayor of Nanaimo after a business owner was recently shot at while trying to get back stolen property. More on the growing safety concerns next.
BCAA member? Lucky you. BCAA members save 3 cents per liter off fuel at Shell. Conditions apply. Visit shell.ca/BCAA.
You got him? They got him.
CSI Vegas. New episodes return Thursday, March 30th on Global.
Okay, Dave, Jacqueline, ready to play energy efficiency trivia?
Let's go.
Installing Energy Star windows can improve your home's efficiency.
Quality insulation and draft proofing.
Nice one.
Small appliances like toaster ovens use less energy than an electric stove. How much less?
Up to 75% less.
Correct.
I think my buzzer is defective.
Watch Global News Morning for your chance to win great prizes.
And find energy-saving tips, tools, and rebates at bchydro.com.